team Dolina after that. Nana sing the days. In Kahuna of the Kumiki traditional area and Central, Nana Abna Ansa Saswaku Apelu and Kodia area of the Kahuna Eastern region. Nana Elina big year first, among Kahuna, Central region. Nana Akoya Aki Abobia Mapodia Pigwan Swahina Eastern region. Now Chopayambo. Oh, I want to mention that interestingly. Now Oshedu Okologete Chopayambo. Okay, that is it. And of course, our patron Nana Otokuma, the chief of HR number 2, who is always being a great support to us. So what do we hear? You can imagine that if we are 100 in this room and you have 10% of royalty, that means a lot. That means a lot because this bill is for us. It is for us, and we are taking it with our hands and our feet to work. I remember recently we went to our annual program retreat, and then we had some people coming to talk about particular issue that I will mention here. When we finished, Nana Chokoma said, Nana, this issue, let's take it and run with it. Nana, when they accept and they own a process, they take it and they run with it. So before they really say a word, I want to tell you and assure you that Nana are taking these bills and giving you all the support 200%. And I'm not speaking only on behalf of myself, my good self. I'm speaking on behalf of the Unity Points of Ghana. And I'm sure you have heard about Unity Points. If you haven't, let me just give you a key pages. Unity Points is a group of motivated, self-motivated traditional leaders who have come together to advocate. Our core mandate is advocacy. We support each other in whatever we do. We try to educate ourselves, but most importantly, we go out there and advocate. So part of your advocating will rest on our lap, and we are going to take it up. We've advocated on ending child marriage. We've spoken about sexual and reproductive health rights. We talk a lot about teenage pregnancy. We do drug abuse a lot. And we talk about menstrual hygiene management, and this is where the task came in. If you Google my name, Nana Areno, and you add tax, sanitary pads, you see what will come. At the point in time, it was as if there was nothing else for us to talk about. But we moved tax, or sanitary pads. And then we also took it a notch higher, and we said, why don't we advocate for girls in school-going age to have free sanitary pads? And I think we should push for that as well. The reason is that apart from all the social norms, social issues and negativity that is befalling our girls, some of them taking 10 CDs, 20 CDs, 5 CDs, and getting pregnant out of it because they can't afford, or their parents cannot afford to give them these most needed commodity in their life. Because menstruation is not forced, and menstruation does not ask permission to deliver itself, and we need those materials to support ourselves during that period. We need to push for our girls to have free supply. And honorable, I heard that honorable one of our MPs were saying that our character and things do not sometimes supply this free supply, they don't support. But I'll tell you something. I remember some time ago we used to have minerals in the fridge in the house. So when we put one bottle, we got from that Ira. We put two bottles, we got from Ira. Do you know what happened? We loaded the fridge with minerals and over there, or Chinaba, maybe Yashi. When you know at the point the minerals was there, no one was drinking. Do you know when you go to hospital and other places, you take tissue packed? When you wash your hands, you take a tissue and wipe your hand and go away. When it started, people were picking these tissues. Now, how many people go to toilet and lock tissues and go away? Because anytime you go to a toilet, you will find them. So I think if we have designated, please the word is designated washrooms, which we are actually beginning to initiate in some communities. For girls, when they have their period, those places will be fitted with table and of course sanitary part for the girls. Over in there, we were connected to the alcohol, or when you realize that the thing is in good supply, you will not steal it. People only take things away because they like it where they are coming from, and they wish they would keep extras so that next time they will still continue to have a supply. Let's keep supply. Well, I want to thank you because they gave us so many about 2,000 plus from another recently when we went to our retreat to use in our advocacy way. And it's true, when you visit the school children, like the Honorable said, they will ask you, what did you bring us? And it's exactly when we have some tools to work with. When you speak to them and say, I have a gift for you, it doesn't matter, even if it is one each, two each, they are so excited. And in fact, whatever you brought to them, it's holistically taken in. So, Mama, honorables, our partners, everybody here, let's grab this. Let's give it our best. Let's give it all the support we can and ensure that this bill sees the days of life. In fact, the issue concerning the maternity leave, I have so much experience. My house assistant, she finished her 3 months, and when she called me and said, Mommy, let me have a next month to visit for become. You know, at a point in time, when she was coming to work, she came with her baby. And I have lived with her, she and her baby. She had another one. And sometimes now when she's coming to work, she comes with 2 children. And they are all, how many employers can accept this? But you see, if it is the norm, then we all know that in 6 months, you don't worry about it. We find replacements, we find temps, and they don't go for house assistants. But we find tools and see to it that they have all the time they need. And the maternity, we support it because anything that helps the woman and the child is our mandate. So we want to support it so that men can get paternity leave. We should leave the few negatives. The few negatives that are coming across. And then I'm going to go back with you. You're better with you, or back with you. The ones who need it to really do the proper work, they will use it. And these are the ones we are speaking for. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you. Thank you. Now that Madam have been duly acknowledged, thank you. I think it is time now for our open forum. This is what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that we have a microphone in the audience, so that we don't keep coming up and going back. It's a little cumbersome. So we can have a microphone. That would be awesome. Please give it to me. Let's start with them. Also, quick question. Should we do one at a time? Let's start with sanitary part. When we are done, we come to my should we both all together? Both all together. I stand corrected. Please go on. Okay, so. Hello. And I want to see the second development of the simplification of the area. I'm in support of the maternity leave, and then takes us a 7th sanitary part.
follow top of what Rampa just said. So we do advocacy and going into the schools and finding out how students how to suffer in terms of sanitary. I think when the pieces are exempted or act, it will be a job for the students. I say this because most students get pregnant out of buying pads. So we get a high rate of such pregnancy in our communities. I'm coming from a little rural, it's very rural area, so getting pad, if we are buying it in the cities at 25, 30, then you can imagine the amount they will be buying it there. So if it is reflected, I think it will more for us. Concerning maternity leave, I'm a teacher, I'm a reader as well, so coming from the teaching field, I have had a school for 5 years, and the teacher that I had to go on maternity leave. I took her subject in politics. So she came back. When I left there and then moved to a different school, I teach as a teacher, no more help. One of the teachers had to go on maternity leave. She had already spent for 3 months and had to come back. But she wasn't really she hasn't recovered. I decided to take her submitted out to mine. So all I'm saying is you can use other students. When it comes to the school, I think English language. We have about a number of teachers that teach the same subject. We just share the subjects among ourselves, and then one teacher goes on me. When she comes back, she takes her subject. So that wouldn't be too much of a stress if it comes to allocating subjects to teachers. So I'm saying the money that the 3 months too limited is inadequate. The 6 months will be open for them in terms of maternity and events of taxes on.
Thank you. Please have the microphone. We'll take 3 more comments, then we listen to Dr. Nasiba from the Islam Project, if you may.
Thank you so much. I'm Nadia Saratu Alasat, Tona of Dabo, Northern Region. On this sanitary pad issue, I'm still on it that I think is good. We all say, it should be tax-free for everyone, because I'm talking of my northern part of the country where getting the sanitary pad is difficult, and even some of them using things that inhygienic food packaging. And most of us too, when we go, as Nana said, we used to give out these sanitary pads to these children through menstrual hygiene day, violence against women and children. We do after the program, we talk, individuals come in and then we give it out. I think when it's being done to the schools, it will help. And also most of the schools are not school girl-friendly, because some are mixed schools. So if they could get facilities for these girls in the schools, I think Parliament, that country will help these girls. Some of them, when they saw their dresses, they can't go to the classroom and the boys to mock at them. So please, let's take that to as something serious. The girlfriend be like. And also, as we said, my Muslims are asked for that. So they should at least help us. But how can we do? Because some will be registered, some of the wives will be registered, and some are not registered. That's my problem.
I stand and I pledge to support this removal of taxes from the national government. And with my support, I just want to give a food of thought. I personally and passionately work with persons with disability. So just imagine a person with disability in the rural community without sanitary pads. I don't understand why condoms are free without it. And like that should be that.
Okay, thank you. My name is Rita. I'm a legal manager and also gender advocate. So with the sanitary pad, I'm very excited about this because this is something we've been doing since 2016. At the time, I asked myself, after when would we keep going to the secondary schools, meeting these kind of people and giving them? So for me, this reform is a very laudable reform we should all support. But one thing I want to reiterate on one of the things that our tax expert said. Even if we take the 24% off, it's still expensive for our target group because you and I can afford it, but the people we are targeting cannot afford it. So honorable, we worked on the anti-witchcraft bill, death penalty. So this, and moving from this, after the tax has been exempted, the next thing is for us to push for it to be made free. For children from 10 years to 1 year, it should be made free for them. And I heard everyone saying the schools should be put in the washroom and everything. But are we thinking about only the school going kids? We have a lot of people who do not go to school. What happens to them? So this is something we need to collaborate with the community centers, the district administration officers in the community, praying mothers, yes, so that those that are not in schools, that are just roaming about them. Because when you interview most of these girls who are into child prostitution, they tell you the reason is because they want to be able to get sanitary pad. And some of them, I see some of our advocates, I always have a little issue with them because when they push for the reusable, I'm always against it. I'm against it because I'm a northerner. And from the northern region, you see a lot of girls say there's no good water, potable water. There's no detergent. If you give them the reusable and they use it, it's not money they're going to use to buy the detergent. It's money they're going to use for the water. So reusable, dear. And then they're only through Ghana Brown. And secondly, on the maternity, of course, Genevieve has already talked a lot about what Advocacy has done, making us 6 months. Oh no, but you made it 4 months. But you see, of course, 6 months, no per month. We just kill it once and I think it's good. The paternity leaves my fellow women. I'm equally a wife, I'm a mother, and probably will have 5 more, another one. Plenty. So please, we need a paternity leave. I understand people saying that some men are irresponsible to please. Unfortunately, if your husband is irresponsible and will misuse the paternity leave, it's not because of your irresponsible husband, we shouldn't have paternity leave. Some of us, our husbands are like honorable to do. Please stop. And then also something that you use it to cheer and go your life. Thank you. And just a little, this issue about the reusable pads, we had an engagement somewhere, community engagement. And I remember one woman saying to us that her issue with the washing of it is that she lives in a compound house. The drain from the bag goes into the community. There is a lot of stigmatization for women living on the streets. You are exempted from cooking, you are exempted from sitting among everybody. Thank you, all of that. And so the last thing she wants is to be washing and reusable sanitary pads and washing that water going all the way and announcing the demonstration to the whole community. What I'm saying is that this conversation is very nuanced. Very, very nuanced. And as we have the conversations, we need to take all of those issues into account. I will acknowledge the presence of labor. By National Labour Commission. We have Dr. Benobek here. Can we get away? Thank you. We'll be handing the microphone to you in a minute. Hello. We'll be handing the microphone to you in a minute. I also like to acknowledge TUC, that's a Trade Union Congress. And we have Madame Rospay, Head of Industrial Relations from the TUC. Can we get away? Can we get away? We also have Madame Lan Ali Adeki, such as she's a PR campaigns, and
Antenna High. We also have with us, I think I mentioned during Dr. Nasiba from the Islam Project. Yes. So please, firstly, at any point, considering that we are experts on unified religion, don't face just that not people and things, but I don't have, given us the traditional, yes, the people in the traditional. And that's very cool. I have to say that this is a power pack room, look at all the organizations and everything else that we have here, and I'm very excited. Please hold the microphone, you still have the microphone. Yes, Nana, please go on.
I'm not going to be like this. Sana, I support this bill 300%, 400%. We are in the rural areas, so we do the advocacy and we really know what's on the ground. Take it, you have a 10-year-old girl, a 15-year-old girl, an average of 18-year-old girl who can't afford menstrual pad and decide to go to a construction center, pick a cement paper, wrap it for it to get soft and use it as a menstrual pad. Another example, not a school-going age, but a lady living in the community and can't afford a menstrual pad, but have to beat a plantain stem to get a fiber, which is very soft, that can soak her menstruation and use it as a pad. How serious are we as a country? You get a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old prostituting because of menstrual pad, and she's charging 5 cedis for just sleeping with her, so that at the end of the month she can get money to get pad. My issue goes on this. If these taxes are not removed, we in the rural areas will still keep having teenage pregnancies on a very high rate. Very, very high rate. As of our percent, we are on the field. We are with them in the community. So they come to us with their problems. It's difficult for a lady to go to assemblyman and tell assemblyman that Honorable my Brown. It's part of us as women. She can't go, but she'll come to you, the Queen Mother, she'll come to you, the Chief, and tell you as a fellow woman, and say, Nana, my Brown, we can let's come there too. And you have to add her to the case. You get a teacher in your community who has given birth to a premature baby. Her maternity leave is up. Her head teacher is saying she should come to school. She doesn't have anybody in the community, or her relatives are not there. This person has to take the baby that she is kangarooing to the school. And we are advocating for exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. We are having early childhood diseases because we are not giving good exclusive breastfeeding. So please, I wish we have other opportunities to express ourselves. So far as Honorable has given us this platform, we want to see that taxes have to be removed. Maternity leave extension has to move from 3 months to 6 months. Paternity leave has to move from 5 days to at least a month or 8 weeks. That is what I'm advocating for.
I would like to acknowledge Professor for example, he's the University of Association of Ghana. Welcome, sir. Please let go.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum to you. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Dr. Nasiba. I'm with Islam Project in my constituency, Medina, in the office of Honorable Susu. As a Muslim, a mother of 4, a working mother, and who has also gone through 4 years. Yes, I relate to this promotion and support to ensure that this bill comes to light. Having worked with a lot of mothers in schools, I understand what it feels to come back to school after 3 months. I believe that one step is ensuring that this bill is passed, but the other aspect is the implementation. We, in the various positions of influence as mothers, as women, making it possible by supporting these women when they come back so that they'll be able to work. I think that's one, is part of the empowerment. I also want to thank Honorable for this bold initiative. I would expect that it is the women who will take the lead. You being a man and taking this lead, we are very grateful. We are proud of you, and we will support you in all we can. I must also say that Honorable is pushing the bill for us as Muslims for the extension of Eid. We are very, very grateful. I believe that if we all say what we're coming around, the whole place will be full. So we just representation and we acknowledge this effort. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So good afternoon all. I'm Joseph, the head of industrial relations, TUC. And I should say that we say a big thank you to Honorable for this opportunity time, because the Labour Act, as we have it in Ghana, is under review. And so this bill comes just at the time when we need. In fact, we are all for it. The TUC is for the extension of the Maternity Act. We are also in favor of the paternity and also for the menstrual products. We are saying a big no to the taxation of it. It should be free. In fact, I support the ages from 0 to 21, because even in the universities, there are people who are there and cannot afford it. I have kids. I have a girl of 20 years, and if I don't give her money or I don't buy it for her, she can't buy it. The younger sister cannot buy it. So how do, and I have relatives who do not have people to buy for them. So it's only when they come to me that I'm able to, because you can't be everywhere. So even in Greater Accra, we have people who cannot afford it. And so it is very important that we say no to the government taxing our blood. In other words, like we said, no man will be born unless, yeah. And we have to know that this is not the kind of blood they see in the accident center. This is a necessary blood. That if it doesn't flow, humanity comes to an end. Like they said, the last 3 dies, the last 1 dies. If women decide or can put a stop to menstruation, there will be no human being on them. Not even the LGBT. So please, we need them to stop the taxation. The second thing also has to do with the issue I want to bring about, has to do with the stillborn. I'm an industrial relations officer, and when you go to the negotiating table, there are issues you talk about over there that are affecting women. One has to do with people who give birth to autistic children. How do they take care of them? It's not in our labor act. And so sometimes you have employers telling you that, well, it's not their concern. They can give you as much as your sick leave, your whatever days, but for the rest, how do you care for a child who has such a problem? It's not over there. And so I think in looking at all these things, we need to put in some of these things. If it's stillborn, like we have it here, being mentioned, employers do not want parents who have stillborn or ladies who have stillborn to take their full maternity leave. They think it is not a disease. They think you don't have any problem. After all, you lost a child, so what are you doing them? They forget that you have to go through some kind of psychological thing. So it becomes a real problem when you go to the negotiating table and you have to do some of these things. It's a big problem. There are so many, I can't mention all of them, but the little I'm saying is that once the act is under review and we are looking at how to improve it so that it will be to the best of all of us, I think in addition to we having extension in maternity and paternity leave, also removing the tax from this thing, we should also talk about the people who give birth to the stillborns, their health, and then also the autistic, those who give birth to autistic children. Because all these things are not in our labor act. And we all start with the law. If there is no law, there will be chaos. So please, let us start.
I have to say before the next person comes in, here, let advocacy see, because, and I stand to be corrected, that is the one organization that has a maternity unit, with the establishment. You call it baby feeding, I call it maternity unit, because I'm really there. And so once you have a baby, and you bring the baby to your bed, the place for the child,
Thank you so much for all the contributions so far.
Right, and that would be a word from the UNFPA, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, and I bring you greetings from Madam Doris, and she actually takes this meeting so seriously, and that is why she has actually asked 5 of us from the office to come to today's meeting to express the seriousness that today's gathering. But for the purposes of this gathering, I want us to be able to look at it holistically so that as we progress in the bill, the nuances that come up, we are already prepared for it. What installations are we putting in place for the private sector? In the sense that we are requesting 6 months. So someone goes to bed, she goes on leave for 6 months. Within this 6 months period, companies that do not have many staff will need to hire someone to be there for the period of the person's absence. Within this 6 months, it means that they are bringing a new person in addition to the person that they're incumbent. Okay, what installations are we putting in place to make sure that the private sector doesn't see it as too much of a financial burden? That is one. Also to ask the same question, how many times within a particular period should someone demand that leave? In the sense that we all know that someone can give birth in a year, that's common knowledge. But it's also possible that someone can give birth every year. So within a period, can we say that you are entitled to that leave, let's say every 3 years, every 4 years, or every 5 years, so that the employer or the private sector doesn't make it seem as though, because the idea is just to create the impression that the private sector will not see it as more of a financial burden, and how many times they will have to, for example, if boys, for example, give birth every 2 years, it means that every 2 years boys is entitled to that 6 months. How does yes? So I'm just asking the questions so that we can think about it more, prepare ourselves more. The idea is just to bring our minds to this factor so that we can prepare in case these questions come up.
Right. I think that one of our honorable MPs, spoke to this, when she acknowledged that we emotional with the issues.
Okay, so I wanted to speak to that briefly. The private sector questions he asked is very important and we need to take notice of it. But as we are pushing for the affirmative action bill to be passed, I worked on it in 2021-2022. And one of the things, there are incentives for the private sectors. So now, in the AA bill, we stated that the quota system, we are talking about 40-60 now for the private sector. Every private sector should make sure that at least they have 40%, that is the least, of female in every company. And to be able to incentivize them or get them to do what they're supposed to do, the bill states that if they do that, they will be given some exemptions when it comes to their tax. And it is in the bill. So what we have to push for is the passage of the AA bill. If it is passed, private sectors, if somebody goes on leave and all of that for 6 months, see, your tax, there's a lot that will be taken away from your tax by the government. You just need to write. I don't want to read too much of the AA bill to you, but it's been taken care of. The most important thing is for us to pass the affirmative action bill and your problem will be handled. Thank you.
So I'm very greetings from the National Students Association of Ghana, and with our association, we are on a mission of developing the formation of professionals with liberating persons both and international markets as well as well. Having represent the Ghanaian students, I would like to touch on a few issues that are raised here, and before then, I would like to comment on our members for taking our search initiative because since the health for agenda was brought up, we have seen only 16% commitment for some countries. So in taking out this initiative, I think Ghanaian students are very proud of him. To move on, we realize that cases of being with teenage pregnancy as a factor for ladies pushing for getting sanitary pads, but the Ghana Health Democratic Surveillance came out also raised an issue that within the ages of 15 to 24, they have 36% and 37% respectively of young children who have even knowledge about HIV prevention. So if they are involved in sexual intercourse and they have idea about HIV prevention, I think it's also very alarming. So it's something that we should also look at. And I also want to advocate on behalf of the youth that in some of these discussions and negotiations, at least the youth should also be prioritized because we are always active on social media. We really advise our younger ones, more especially about their sexual reproductive health. So this is one of the reasons I want to add. With the issue of the maternity, I also support the case that it should be extended to sex now because one of the main issues is to promote exclusive breastfeeding. And we all know the challenges that comes if you don't breastfeed exclusively. So this one I also want to add to. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a word from the National Student Association of Ghana. At this point, I would like to pass the microphone over to Professor Bransford Jampo. Before that, I will also remind you that we have coffee at the entrance. You can just make moving here for long hello, just so you can get yourself a cup of coffee and come back and join us. Right, coffee is
Well, good afternoon. I don't think I should have anything useful more to add. Susu is my lawyer, and he is also a very sane MP. And then also his head is properly screwed on. He thinks, now he needs you. Okay. I mean, the issues you are talking about here, they are practical issues that it's only insane people who would refuse to bring them up. Extension of maternity leave, having paternity leave, and abolishing taxes on sanitary pad. This one too, is it who win the 2024 election? there should be no disagreement over this. This is just something that is commonsensical. And so I came in here just to lend my full support to the initiative, and I pray and urge all to also have same support, and I know that he has done it before. He would have the needed support from other members of parliament who are equally sane and sensible in ensuring that this thing goes through. It's as simple as that. So we shouldn't even be dragging it. So thumbs up to Susu, and then I wish you in this journey of trying to fight for the poor and the privileged and the marginalized, I think he stands alone sometimes. But we like that too much. We like to pander to what doesn't work. Oh, sanitary, then we leave it like that. And sanitary, we leave it like that. So you need sensible people like him to bring some of these things. I've been thinking about it, but this one too, should we even spend money, waste time, discuss it? It's something, if you are hungry, you should eat. It is simple. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that. So this one, we are supporting, and I'm sure that when we are saying, as we are saying some of these things, those who have their ears, they are also listening. And I want to call on them respectfully that they should do the needful. Without women, we'll be nowhere. And responsible fathers also appreciate the need for paternity leave. We don't have the traditional extended family system when your son or your child that you give birth to belongs to everybody. Now you ask your mother to come and live with you to take care of the child. She's also taking care of your old her husband. And my mother is interested in attending funerals. So there are funerals here. I have to go. She will list the number of funerals that she has to be attending to make it impossible for her to quit whatever she's doing to come and take care of you. So the father must be there to help. And to ask that, so that father should be given some respite to be able to help, is to ask that there should be somebody there to offer genuine support to the woman who may have given birth. And this one, I don't think men would shoot at it. The other bit about what are the private sector, what they are going to be saying, if it becomes a law, it is a law. Let us ensure that it becomes a law, and then once it becomes a law, they should be able to figure out what can be done to be able to stand, get people to stand in for the woman. I mean, those of you who want, see many young people, they want to travel abroad to go and work. If you go and you work and you are doing what we call living, and for some reason you have to take a leave or leave the job to attend to other issues, it's a private sector job. Private sector is able to do a certain agreement to make sure that whilst you are not there, somebody works for you. When you come and take back, your job. Okay, so that one, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. But it should be a law first. And I think there's no need for more protracted comments on these issues. So I wish us all well as we see to do this.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul, for your intervention. The microphone is still here. We'll take just a few more comments. Oh, I see Madam's hand up. Madam, hear you. Should I bring my microphone? Obama has spoken on the already. Oh, no, here. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. And I just want to, coming from the
National Labour Commission. I just want to bring another dimension to the conversation here. As you all know, I don't know if Ghana is a member of the International Labour Organization, and Convention number 183 is on maternity protection. I recall very much in 2003 when the labour law was laid before Parliament and it was going to be passed. In fact, there was a suggestion that we should change the 12 weeks to 14 weeks. But then, the then Deputy Minister for Employment, she made a very important point. She said that already there is discrimination against women when it comes to employment, and that is a reality. Because people are looking at ages, and they are looking at thinking that if I employ this lady, she's coming to the job and she's coming to the next moment she tells me she's going to deliver. So we should leave it at 12 weeks, and that was what happened at the time. So what I'm saying here is that it's good to have the law, but there should be a lot of education, because you have we've handled cases where it took a pregnant lady to report that case, because you go into the job and that's I don't want to mention the name of the organization, and there's a policy which is signed on to say that you have to work continuously for 3 years before you become pregnant. There have been situations where people have been asked to undertake medical exam and pregnancy test is part of it. And I think these are very serious matters which will have to be looked at. The first time of the commission used to say that we have a problem with people bringing discrimination against women. Because we are talking about human resources to develop Ghana. Who is related to human resource? And if you do this, you don't support them. So I think that we need to actually look at the education kind of thing. You have all the situations where women have been employed all right. On probation, they get pregnant. Right. They go to the leader they come. The question is, they find a way of telling them you haven't passed the probation. So you lost your job. So if there's going to be some protection, because the convention is on maternity protection. If there's going to be, it will be expanded a bit so that the protection aspect of it will also be included. That would be very, very helpful, because if the employer wants to get you out, he will get you out anyway, and then you go back and fight your fight. So this is what with the contribution I just want to make. So
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think I'll hand over the microphone. I don't want to address. So I'll introduce myself again. Genevieve, the Country Director for Amnesty International Ghana. I can relate to a lot of the things you said. That's why I believe that, yes, this bill needs to be laid and passed, but we as individuals also have to do our part. Earlier on, I told you that when I got to Amnesty, it was 3 months, the 12 weeks leave. I pushed. It took me more than a year, but I pushed, and we changed the policy to 6 months. I also pushed for flexible working hours, and I can say here that 95% of my staff are below 40, 95% of my staff are women, and I do that consciously. So this is something that I feel we are recruiting now, and I'm ensuring that the positions we are recruited for, 90% are women. I think these are things that we need to do consciously. It's not just about the law, like you said, it's education. But where does education come from? It comes from peer to peer. How are we telling, I have other women directors that I talk to. I actually had lunch with one woman director, and I was trying to tell her how she can change policies in her workplace to favor women. Because at the end of the day, we stand for something in the workplace. We bring in a lot of revenue, and we need to be respected for that. So please, every person in your corner, both men and women, make it a conscious effort
to employ women, not because, and don't do it and say, oh, this person might get pregnant in a year. And also, we also remove the probation clause. So if you come and you are employed, you immediately benefit from health insurance because it's a human right. For me, it's a human right. And if you do get pregnant, and I learned it from there somewhere, because my previous employer, when they were employing me, I was pregnant. And I told them that I didn't have any obligations to them. I was like, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm only 6 weeks. And you know what he told me? He said, why am I telling him? That at the end of the day, he knows I'm good and I'll work well. When my maternity leave comes, he will get somebody to replace me, no problem. So, and this was a man, my boss was a man. So people are doing it. So please, let's make a conscious effort. Thank you.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good evening. I'm privileged to be here the second time to witness Honorable's efforts at passing away, and I'm very grateful. I would like to speak a bit about the maternal leave and also the maternal. I wish, like the other queens are saying, we make it the 6 months once a job. My reason is, even to all teams, there are only 11 people who play on the field, but every team is allowed to buy 33 players. There is only 20 to what are they doing? They are standing by for the rest. So I don't see the reason why a company cannot train such that one man can do 3 different jobs. We are the same that when somebody is not here, this man should be able to take it out for you. The company in which I work with, at least if you are a driver, you must know how to paint for it, you must know how to paint the range, you must be able to drive, pick up all the way to articulate. So each work we will push through. And because the package is good, we are willing to take it. And it will benefit you yourself. So I think those companies, when these things come up, those companies will be compared to at least they will keep one person at the front, but somebody from the office or the control can only talk for him for that 3 months or for that 6 months. And I think nothing will change. But again, my advice is, let's say we do at least 2 weeks or even 1 month. And within that 1 month, if the purpose for which he was given the leave, he decided initially to put poetry on his board. It will come to a time, after 3 months, or after 3 days, it will be compared to it. Because imagine the woman is in the kitchen, and the child is crying. So when you see that the child is singing some song, so that the child is talking. My example is my father, when we were there, every time he had a child, when he goes to a job, when my mother finished bathing the child, we will give the child his last breastfeed, he will breastfeed the child the last one. Then my father came back to tomorrow. And so I adapted it. And I have 2 of my children who are, one is about graduating, he's doing his master's, and there's a professorship. He will be graduating. From around 6, 7, I start cooking with them. So they cook every food. From food, only to do that, they don't set up down food. Go to anything they do. You see, so when the child has these challenges, they always, whether there is maternal leave or not, must also give the women that opportunity. Sometimes when they are putting, oh, I'm this, call you, let him come. Which is very listening for you. You see, after some time, oh, when you see the listening for me, oh, bring this one for me. Then one day, slowly you slip out of the kitchen. Then you will start continuing from there. And then you become partners both at the kitchen and also at the workplace. Amen. So I think that honorable those who have been cited the list 7 to 6 minutes as we are also complete. And secondly, we need to lack of the and also with the 17 part, I will wish government do something serious about it. Because these days we have free mobility system. Everybody can go and buy from anywhere and whatever selling part, whatever price you want. Especially when there is a small shortage, the price will go up. So I think government should make some sort of effort on it. Government should take rather instead of taxing, government should take part of it because the majority of the babies who are into it, I will say, it is not their making, it is natural. And when you don't have the money, like we were saying, yes, somebody will call you. A young man who is speaking will be calling them. And at the end of the day, they will spoil their life. So I think we should all push and pray that this should be possible.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I understand we have Nana in the back to give us your comment on the issue as well.
Thank you. My name is Najio Ushedu Obalojuete, the first, from Laaba Upele, and I bring you a not so good news from the coastal areas in Ghana. Our daughters, as a result of the fact that they can't afford sanitary pads, are actually opting for some of the birth control methods that prevent menstrual fluid. So if I can't afford the pads and I don't want to be pregnant, yet I am sexually active because it is through that I get little money, then I will go for the injection and then I will stop bleeding and then I will make money. But what we are doing is that in the long term, our children will start reacting to these hormones because they were introduced to it too early. We will have a lot of STDs or STIs, and by the time they are ready to be mothers, to give birth to the next generation, we will have so many problems. So I am urging all of us that we should make it a conscious effort that in your little space, please make sanitary pads available to our girls. Don't wait for that. No. Even before the taxes are removed, in your own corner, you know a girl, you know a certain family that is struggling. Please go out there and help them. Let us inspire inclusion as we are getting ready to celebrate International Women's Day. Let's inspire inclusion by considering some of these vulnerable people in our society. The long-term effects is telling, and it will harm us as a country. So let's all support this bill. This is what I want.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take the microphone. Okay. So much the national.
Hi everyone. Thank you for your comment. My name is Doreen Rahina Suleiman. I'm from Targeted Rights Initiative. So we advocate for elimination of gender-based violence both online and offline. I was invited here today, and this whole bill, like everything here is very sentimental to me. I left my work because I wanted to raise my child. My first pregnancy, I had a miscarriage, and my boss, like, after even telling him everything that happened, he asked me to come back to work like the next 2 days. And he couldn't even call me in his office to ask me what happened, but he came to talk to me at the staff room. So I went to his office to tell him my peace of mind, and I left. Yes. Because it was even due to work stress alone that made me miscarry the first one. So when I realized I was going to have tried again the second one, I was like, no, I'm not going to work for anybody. I'd rather start something small so that I can have time to take care of my child. So this is very important. And then for the paternity leave, we've all had heard stories of the men. So my sister here was saying, if your husband is not responsible, then it's up to you. I'm really grateful for mine. He's very supportive. So and then with the translation of the menstrual hygiene products. There was what I do is I advocate for gender-based violence. There was one issue that was brought up to me, and a 14-year-old girl was sexually abused by her own uncle. So after I probed deeper, I realized she went to ask him for money for pad. And the man, it's like, she said, okay, now all man is kind of going to pad. Now, we realize the whole car, mine is okay. Like, jokingly, you know? And the man was abusing the child for over a period of 2 years that he didn't even know. And if I had not gone to advocate in that community and then ask the young girls that if anybody is having such an issue, they can come to me. Initially, or usually when I do, I tell them to go to some trusted family members, or they can go to the chiefs in their area, or the queen mother, or they can go to their teachers. If they think they can't trust them, they can go to the police when somebody is abusing them. So I realized nobody was saying anything. I was like, okay, so I'm here today. You have me for the whole day. Just come and tell me what the problem is. I promise not to tell your parents or anybody, but just come and tell me so that I will find ways of helping you. Then this girl came, I asked her whether she told her mom, and she said she tried in a way to tell her mother, but once she started that, those kind of comments. So she kept it to herself and actually had to go and see the chief in the area to help. So when these taxes are eliminated, and as we are advocating for the free part, I think it will also help eliminate gender-based violence in our society. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please find the microphone to who happens to be the PR campaigns for the TUC of Ghana.
Right, thank you very much indeed. I'm happy and congratulations, Honorable Francis. So you know what? I think that my thoughts resonate so much with yours and the points that you made, Prof. Japo. Because sometimes I think Ghana, we have things turned upside down. What kind of a country do we want? What kind of a development do we want? Now also, do we have to? I mean, girls are menstruating. What's the taxing? Some people are saying this is business. Now when you're here with Ghana, are you going to make your profit on this? So, this is a question we need to ask ourselves. You know, so because it goes without saying the fact that, I mean, if condoms, you remove pieces of condoms. You know, what is it you have taxing menstruation? You know, and then the other point that I mean, thinking, I wasn't going to make any point. You know, I wasn't going to say anything. But you haven't taken for granted women and their development and their contribution to national development. In the Nigerian war, they got somewhere and they got some reprieve because the women said, no, we're not going to have sex with our husbands. And we saw how much happened or what happened after those decisions were made. Maybe
women in Ghana need to say that, okay, we're not giving birth for 2 years. And so for that reason, there will be no, sex with our husbands. We will come to appreciate the fact that women are important in our community. We have been told that when women are in the field, when women are contributing, we make better progress as a country. The Pratt gave us the statistics for research work. And what research do we have now having to, if there's a man who won't take his paternity leave, he needs to bond with the child also. Because a lot of the time the men jump out, they're not. The body has to be there for 1 month as we're advocating. He knows that even if he jumps around for 3 days, he'll be tired of doing it when he needs to stay home. And you give him the opportunity to also bond with the child so that he won't jump ship somewhere along the line. So these are things that we need to discuss as we go along. What kind of development do we want? How far do we want that development? If we are able to have that kind of equity or equality or call it what you need, then we have a program. CDC has a program, a women education program on radio. And a lot of the time when we're discussing anything gender, people call us with a problem that you have just eloquently laid out. She's pregnant and she's been laid off. She just came back from maternity leave and her boss has replaced them. And so the issue is very, very important. People are all over the place. So what kind of a development do we want as a country?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, as all of this has been happening, there's been only one question of my mind. What do we really think that we use our maternity leave for? But that's what we have seen the question of my mind. What do we think as a society? What do we think that when we take maternity leave, that we take paternity leave? So conversations like these are important. Issues like not being able to naturally breastfeed your child when you need medical attention for that. These are the things we are talking about. Issues like a woman has had a child, she wants to kill the baby, and so she needs medical help, assistance. These are the conversations we are having. So it's not, we are not asking for time to be a sit at home and eat someone too. No. We are asking for time to take care of the next generation of leaders. The ones that take this country where we have been to take it. So please, it's an important day. I am extremely grateful that I have this opportunity to be here. I have to say, we should also privilege. As we spoke, the man of the moment was taking notes. And so I would want to hand over the microphone to him, right now, so that he can help us understand what his evaluation of today's exercise has been and how helpful it will be to him in his drive to get this bill passed.
Thank you so much. I will quickly add this also to the vote of thanks, and then my senior superintendent, if you're attending, will come, and then on behalf of Parliament, then she can close us. And this will happen in the next 1 to 2 minutes. I want to first of all say a very big thank you to everyone. I sincerely appreciate our Queen Mothers, our chiefs who came all the way from Madina, Ni Teman, Ni Danfa, Ni Koiman, and all the head of the Islam project, and the several stakeholders who have come together to support today's activity. My gratitude also goes to the Queens. Is it the community Queens, right? The unity Queens. Yeah, our Queen Mothers who have been so much. Professor and Paddington, my very, very good friend, Amnesty International, and all the others who have come to support us. And I also want to say thank you to Right Honourable Speaker and the leadership of Parliament for the opportunity for us to have this exercise here in Parliament. I'm I'm grateful to the Public Affairs Department for all the support they offered us on this occasion. And we also remind us quickly that after this session, we have a group picture session. And we have some provision for lunch that we will also be having before we move away. So let's take note. Quickly, I think the contribution we have here today, what I hear stakeholders saying is that we believe in maternity leave expansion, and we believe that within the 4 months proposal must go to 6 months. That is what we hear stakeholders saying because of the exclusive breastfeeding. And so we will amend our proposals accordingly. Then there has been a massive support to the paternity leave to concerns that we raise, which I believe will be addressed along the line. Then we hear stakeholders saying that there is a big balance and flexibility in work period for, let's say, lactating mothers when that there is some flexibility for them, and that may be captured in provisions that we call the maternity protection provisions. So in order to prevent the systemic discrimination against women, there will be provisions that impose obligation on every employer during the pregnancy of a woman so that they are protected against the kind of discrimination they suffer, and the fact that sometimes you are pregnant and you have to lose your job. I don't think that in this day and age that should be happening. So thank you very much for the input, for your contributions, and may God continue to bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member of Parliament. In fact, today has been one of my best days. Yes, since I joined Parliament. And so let me, on behalf, once again, of the Right Honorable Speaker, the leadership of Parliament, members of Parliament, the Pratt management and everyone, thank you very much for joining us. At least we have heard from you a lot of thought-provoking contributions and views from diverse areas. On the top of traditional civil society, health, individuals, even talk now, social media. It tells you that it's very inclusive and it's going to help us make better and informed policy making. And one thing I also stress is the fact that the rights we are enjoying today were 4 centuries back. And so whatever we are doing, whatever we do, we shouldn't think about today. Let's think about prosperity. Generations are born, and you'll be proud of us. That is very important. And one thing that I also took from this stakeholder engagement is the fact that we should not always be looking for the laws that needs to be passed by others and the powers or the duty bearers. In our own small ways, whatever we can do, like Amnesty International said, let us do them. Let's promote affirmative consent. In the way within our power and will, our control space, please let us do what is very important. Last week Friday, we had some persons with disability visitors in Parliament. And so these are some of our projects that we're bringing on board to ensure that those who are marginalized also take part in decision making. And so after our interaction and taking them through the team chamber, one of them said that we, the persons who are blind, are visually impaired, we do not see and we recognize people by their voices. Today I have been in Parliament and I've heard the speaker speak. I have seen the speaker in a way that I understand. And since then, whenever I'm sleeping, I keep on thinking about this. What are we doing? For those who do not have a voice, are we amplifying their voices? There is a lot. Otherwise, prosperity will again judge us. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, let me once again say thank you very much for coming. We are very grateful to you.
We thank you for all the level of knowledge, expertise, the contribution, your views. We are very grateful. I know some time is coming where the world will be proud of you. But I am having a lot of Parliament. I know what's wrong with you. If nobody is doing it, do it alone. If nobody is proud of you, be proud of yourself. Because you made it happen. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, let me say thank you once again for coming. But before we leave, I think we have an evaluation from Go Round. Please read it. And we still help us evaluate what we have done so we can improve on it going forward. So please help us. Don't go without evaluating what we have done. Thank you very much. Our parents and the tables, so we thank you so much. We have learned a lot and we thank you more for this in-depth knowledge. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Truly African.